Oggi discipoli incepimus ad initium, pronunciation of Ecclesiastical Latin, beginning with the vowels. The vowels in Latin are very consistent, much like modern day Italian. The vowels are very consistent, and for each vowel, we have two sounds, long and short. The long vowels are marked with a macron or a long mark, which is the little bar that you see above the vowel. So let us go through A, E, I, O, and U, our vowels, and listen to the difference between the long and the short. First, we have A, and A. Grazia, papa, a, aqua, ad, ab. So we hear that the difference is that the long vowel is held for twice as long as the short. Now let's move on to E. A, cena, ecclesia, e, cena, ecclesia, e, terra, ex, sine, bene. I, or E, doctrina, famiglia, vita, missa, in, sine, ibi. Gloria. Oh, sorry, I just jumped right on, but now we go on to O. Gloria, non, hora, pro. So always O. And now the soft O or the short O. Doctrina, apostolus, dominus. U or U. Natura, futurus, Judea. Short U, culpa, cum, super. So again, the vowels A, E, I, O, U. Grazia, papa, a, aqua, ad, ab, cena, ecclesia, e, terra, ex, sine, bene, doctrina, famiglia, vita, missa, in, sine, ibi, gloria, non, ora, pro, doctrina, apostolus, dominus, natura, futurus, Judea, culpa, cum, super. As we move on to the next page and continue to learn about our vowels, John Collins, our author, brings up something that you might all be struggling with at this moment, which is that it is, in fact, very hard for our ears to distinguish a difference between the long and the short vowels. This is not just English speakers. This is also true if you go to Italian sites of how to pronounce Latino Ecclesiastico, or also called Latino Scolastico, that they too struggle to hear a difference between long and short vowels. And this is further complicated by singing, right? Where we sometimes use the vowel link that fits into the song over the maybe the more correct pronunciation, and the long vowels tend to be used more often than the short. That's okay. Just do your best for right now and make sure that you're getting those fundamental sounds. It's not A, E, I, O, U. It's A, E, O, U. There are no silent vowels in Latin. So that's nice. And Y, as it's stated here, only occurs as a vowel and never as a consonant. And we have it in Greek, in words that are coming over from Greek, and it's really pronounced like the short form of I. So mysterium hymnus, mysterium hymnus. Um, And just to reiterate here what it's saying on point 5 is that a vowel followed by another vowel are separated from it by H is usually short. So this is going to come this is going to be important down the road as we're trying to figure out where our accent goes. So diphthongs are a sequence of letters that combine to make one sound. So we will see our diphthong AE in Ecclesiastical Latin. AE, it makes one sound, A. So aeternus seculum. This is a little different from classical Latin, but very beautiful. So aeternus seculum, just like long E. We have another diphthong AU, au, aurum laudo. OE is pronounced just the same as AE. So it also makes the long E sound. Ecumenicus cepi. So OE and AE are pronounced just like a long E. UI, we. Weak, qui. Huic, qui. So as we move along to the consonants, many of them are, you hear it will say like English. Really, they're more like Italian, but also similar to English, right? So B is going to be a little bit shorter than we might be used to in English, but essentially a similar sound. C is something that we want to focus on. It's going to really function like in Italian. You know how we have ciao, cello, where CI or CE makes a ch sound. And that's how it will be in Ecclesiastical Latin, with AE and OE, the diphthongs, operating just like the E. So also creating that ch sound. Cena, circa, cellum, cenobium. D and F, just like in English, maybe a little bit shorter. G, again, just like in Italian, that if G is followed by E, I, Y, or AE, OE, the diphthongs, that it's going to make that J sound. Angelus, Regina, Egyptius. Otherwise, it will make the G sound, that we're more like Gloria. H is a soft pronounced sound, like they have a hat, so honores or hora. J, in reality, is, as they say, the I used as a consonant. And in fact, in classical Latin, it was the same letter written there, so we wouldn't see J, we would just see I. And it is pronounced like the Y sound of yet, yeah. Jesus Justus. Okay, so whenever you see the J, always think of that Y sound. Jesus Justus. LMNP, no problem, just like in English. Q, as they say, is really always followed by a U. So QU will always be together, and they're making the qu sound. Quod antiquus. Quod antiquus. R is trilled. Here they have lightly trilled, but I think you can, yeah, just a trilled. Regnum, regnum, terra, doctrina. So, like modern Italian. S is going to be soft. Ecclesia, missa, not the Z sound. T, V, and X, no problem, just like in English. And Z is going to have that T sound, baptizo. So the sound that we hear in pizza, really, right? So the pizza sound, baptizo. G, here we have a couple combinations that you'll see in our notes. So GN is going to make a ny sound, agnus, regnum. SC, when it's followed by E or I, makes a sh sound. Shellus, shivi. Ooh, here I think, so it has the character of a consonant sometimes when it's combined with QU, GU, SU, to make kind of a gw sound, right? So sanguis, suavis, right? So you can hear that kind of W sound that's coming from U when it's combined with QU, GU, or SU, right? Sanguis, suavis. X and Z are considered two consonants, which is going to be important in scanning. TI, when it's followed by a vowel, it is pronounced C, except when preceded by ST or X. So Letizia, Preziosa, Vitium, but Hostia. So Hostia, right, we have the T and the I separate. Hostia, Hostia. Letizia, Preziosos, Vitium. PH is pronounced like F, just how we pronounce it now. So I don't think that's nice for us. Double consonants, you're going to pronounce both of them. So ancilla, missa, peccatum, sabbatum, comito, comito, right? So all of the consonants are pronounced with just a small pause between the letters. So in Latin, unlike in English, there are no silent consonants. So it's really a much more phonetical language. The syllabication in Latin is really not, I don't think, fundamentally much different from English. I think it's pretty straightforward here to get your head around. One thing we do want to note as we move along is that the syllabication will become important because this will help us know where to put the accent. And the accent in Latin, as we will see, is actually even more consistent than English. So it's really nice. The rules of accent are very straightforward in Latin. If you have, and much more consistent than English. So if you have a word of one syllable, no problem. The accent goes on that one syllable. De, ab, ad, ex, so on and so forth. If a word has two syllables, then the accent goes on the penultimate syllable. So that's the second to last syllable, right? So for example, misa, they give you, has two syllables, and the accent goes on the penultimate, or in this case, the first, right? So misa, misa, right? So on that I, misa. If a word has three syllables or more, then the accent goes on the penultimate the penultimate syllable, so the next to last syllable, if that if that vowel is long. If that vowel is short, then the accent moves to the anti-penultimate. So it just moves up one. So not next to last, but two from the end. So it's really, for most words, it doesn't matter how long they are, the accent is going to be on the penultimate or the anti-penultimate syllable. Let's see this in action by going through Pater Noster. So let us begin. Pater Noster qui, so we have words with two syllables. So for each of them, we know that the accent will go on the penultimate syllable. Pater, noster, qui, right? So on the A of pater, the O of noster, and the Q and the U of qui. Esin, one syllable, no problem. Cedlis, right? So again, two syllables with the accent going on the penultimate, the AE diphthong that makes the A sound. So now we get to sanctificetur. It's a multisyllabic word. So we look to the end, our penultimate vowel, the A, che, right? And that is long. So that means that it gets the accent. Sanctificetur on the penultimate syllable. Sanctificetur. Nomen tuum adveniat. Right? So here, once again, we have multiple syllables. We look at the penultimate is the I, right, between the N and the A, and it is short. So our syllable, our accent goes to the antepenultimate, the E, adveniat, right? So adveniat, regnum tuum, fiat.
So voluntas is a little bit different because the U, it's short, but it's followed by two consonants, N and T. And that makes it long preposition, which means that it will get the accent. So it will become voluntas tua.
Sicut in cello et in terra, panem nostrum quotidianum, right? So multiple syllables. We look to the penultimate and we see that the penultimate, the A, is long. So it gets the accent. Quotidianum da nobis hodie et dimite, right? Multiple syllables, three syllables. The I, the penultimate I, is short, so we go to the antepenultimate for the accent. Dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus, right? So here we have the penultimate I is short, so we move up one to the antepenultimate I. So dimittimus. So first time it was dimite, and now it is dimittimus. Debitoribus, right? So debitoribus, here the penultimate I is short, right? So the I between the R and the B is short, so the accent goes to the antepenultimate. Debitoribus nostris et ne nos inducas, right? The U is long, so the accent goes on the penultimate syllable. Inducas in tentationem, right? The O is long, the penultimate O, so it gets the accent. Tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.